Hi, welcome back to the channel, A Reader's Insight. Make sure you like and subscribe on your way in, and I'm gonna just hop right into it because I got multiple messages just for you, okay? So I'm gonna try to structure this as best as I can, but if the messages are sporadic or all over the place or what have you, just roll with it. I promise it will make sense, okay? So, the first download that I got for you, okay? First of all, first and foremost, Ariana Grande's song popped up in my head. Her song Problem. I heard, head in the clouds, got no weight on my shoulders. I should be wiser and realize that I get one less problem without you. I got one less problem without you. Okay? So, whoever I'm talking to, your mind, like, you're definitely an overthinker. I almost said overachiever, so that could be significant too. But whoever you are, you have this tendency to overthink things. You could possibly be an air sign, a Gemini, Libra, or an Aquarius. I'm also getting a water sign. Um, I'm also getting Pisces, Cancer. Okay, but you don't have to be. But your head is just all up in the clouds, okay? You have a tendency to dissociate from your body. It's like your mind and your body are on two different planes. And this season, you're being ushered in, or like you're learning how to put your mind and your body, get your mind and your body back into alignment with each other. But your mind, like you have your head in the clouds a lot. You could be a daydreamer, okay? Um, uh, maladaptive daydreamer. I also just heard maladaptive coping mechanisms. So in your past, you may have used maladaptive coping mechanisms to cope with life or your previous struggles. Um, More so I'm getting a creative outlet. Your daydreams, you being in your head space a lot was your way of disconnecting from your pain. I heard disconnecting from your truth. Oh my gosh, okay? Disconnecting from your truth. I also just heard disconnecting from your voice. You using your mental fantasies, your daydreams, dissociating, right? Your mind built this defense mechanism, this wall to overall, it was to protect you, right? Because your reality, the struggles you were going through were just too much for you to bear at that time. Your younger self, right? Your child's mind, or maybe you weren't a child, but the past version of you used that as a way for you to cope with life and the struggles that you were dealing with, whether you were conscious to these struggles or not. And I'm getting that that is no longer uh, a prerequisite or what have you. That is no longer needed in this season of your life, right? Those former coping mechanisms, those old ways of disconnecting from your reality, is not a necessity anymore. It's not serving you, and it won't serve you in this season of your life. So you're learning how to break out of that. You're learning new ways to adapt to your current reality and being more present in this current reality. That's what you are learning how to do. That's what you are being called to do. Okay? If you haven't or aren't on the path of doing that already. And I'm also looking at this picture my grandma has of Black Jesus and all of his disciples and what have you at this dinner table, and I'm seeing all these doors. Okay? So something about lots of doors being open for you. You having a choice to go through. You just have so many like different options you could go through or actually choose from, and no option is a wrong option. Like, I'm getting all roads lead to home or Rome, however that saying goes. It's one of those sayings, but you just have lots of different choices. And also with this air sign energy, um, you are trying to figure out which path to take. You have so many different choices when it comes specifically to specifically down to a certain creative endeavor. You're very creative. You're very smart, right? But this season, instead of bottling up your feelings and suppressing your emotions, right? Instead of using those maladaptive coping mechanisms that your mind has picked up and, you know, automatically basically chose to do because of those past circumstances, instead of detaching from reality that way, you're being called to pour into these creative endeavors in this season of your life. Because the old maladaptive coping mechanisms are no longer needed. It's no longer a necessity. Like, it's actually hindering you more than pushing you to who you want to be and where you want to go, right? So you're being advised to pour into yourself and pour into these creative hobbies of yours. All right, choosing different outlets to express your emotions, right? That's a healthier way for you to let out those feelings, let out those emotions by transmuting it. Basically, in short, alchemy, okay? You're an alchemist. You know how to alchemize. Even if you recognize it or not, you know how to alchemize. That's one of your gifts. I just heard. Wow. Wow. The gift of alchemy, okay? That just might be the title. The number 6 could be significant. 66 or 666. If you've been seeing those numbers, huge confirmation, okay? And now I'm seeing it upside down in my mind's eye. So, um, again, you could be a Pisces, don't have to. Something about Pisces energy, but there's a completion, a reward I'm getting. Something also about opposites, paradox, yin and yang. Mm. There's some type of like um completion and doing things more efficiently. Listen, I'm just channeling right now, okay? I'm just channeling right now off the dome, okay? I told y'all in the beginning, it may be, sporadic, but bear with me. It's just one of those ones, you know? Um, But there's some type of reward that is being given to you or set up for you. I'm also getting something about time efficiency, which ties into my last message. So if you haven't seen that one, go ahead and watch that video. I'll link it somewhere. It might be in the description, might be in the comments. I don't know. Just check either one, okay? But yeah, anywho, um, you're just like you're boggled and you're mental a lot. Like you're stuck in the mind area. And you're being advised to take control of your mental. Let go of um all of these distractions that have you boggled up in your mind. All of the burdens, all of the heaviness, all of the heavy weight. You're just thinking about so many different stuff. So much different like areas. Like you're being pulled in many different directions. Just lots of distractions mentally, but it's all like mentally. It's all like an it's tied to a certain like emotion or a certain emotional charge that's making you feel like you have to like overthink these things and be dissatisfied and pour all of your time and effort and energy into these distractions that whatever you're thinking about, whatever situation this is for you, right? Because that was your old way of coping with certain things, taking on people's problems, taking on people's burdens, feeling like you are responsible for other people's issues, and feeling so boggled down mentally because of other people's problems, issues, emotional well being, right? However, okay, shoulders down, back up, take a deep breath, babes, okay? I'm gonna hold your hand energetically when I tell you this. You don't have to do that anymore. And that feels so weird because for such a long time, that's all you've been conditioned to believe and programmed to think. It isn't you necessarily, it's just your conditioning, your programming, right? You felt as though you were responsible for other people's emotional like well-being and issues. I'm here to tell you that you're not at all. It couldn't be further from the truth. And in this season, you are waking up to that fact, to that realization. Like, hey, this isn't my stuff to carry. I shouldn't have to carry someone else's burdens. Okay? You're being ushered 5:22 on the clock. You could be seeing twos or 222, okay? But I'm getting that you need to be very compassionate with yourself or as compassionate as you can be towards yourself. 1414 on the timestamp. Treat yourself how you would treat a really small child, your inner child, if you will, okay? But be kind to yourself. Be very understanding of your internal world because this is no easy feat. I've been saying that all week, okay? What does that mean? But, you're doing the work and you've done so much healing, so much work on yourself. And I feel like you don't get the recognition that you deserve. I'm also staring at this word recording. All right. So something about recording, taking data of your journey. That's really specific. That's actually really specific. Um, but perhaps, journaling, dotting down, I guess, I don't know. But journaling, taking like inventory, you know, collecting data about yourself. Like, yeah, collecting data about yourself, literally. Self introspection. Cause I feel like you're already self aware as is. Um, but this is your season of self introspection. Okay? Jotting down data, literally studying yourself, studying your patterns, okay? Your behavior, what you think about on a day-to-day basis, what you talk about, stuff like that, you know? But just being in control and staying balanced as you go about doing so, all right? Because you're still a little shaky. You're not entirely on the other side. However, you are getting there, and they need you to steer the course. The sun is rising in your life. The sun is shining in your life. And before you know it, you're gonna be on the other side of it. All right? Baby steps, okay? Literally 1% better every single day. Don't be too harsh on yourself when you find yourself, you know, speaking about a past incident or people or certain situation that you thought you got over or that you should be, over by now. Absolutely not. This season, you cannot be hard on yourself. I'm telling you. Don't be hard on yourself, okay? Only you know what you've been through. Only you know, you and the Most High Spirit, however, only you know your internal struggles. So don't be hard on yourself, okay? This is your season. You are getting the green light, the A-OK, the go ahead to be sensitive as possible with you and hold yourself so delicately like a precious baby, literally, and not feel shame or cringe about it. Yeah. All right. Just let go and let God, literally. Okay. I also, before we close out, I almost forgot. I also channeled the song Pleasure Principle by Janet Jackson. Let me go ahead and open it up. Okay. That song came through. And with that, someone's last name could be Jackson. Okay. Or your initials could start with the letter J. But I'm getting something about emotional fulfillment. Okay. Because, according to AI overview, it says Janet Jackson's The Pleasure Principle is an empowering 1987 anthem about rejecting superficial, one-sided relationships for emotional fulfillment. Now, for you specifically, this could be talking about a specific relationship, but more so I was getting something about rejecting the superficial, as in your mask, aka the performative version of you, getting rid of it altogether, which ties into your past maladaptive coping mechanisms, right? It's like the performative version of you is linked, literally tied into, you know, those past coping mechanisms. Your identity was built on you, escaping in your head or dissociating from reality. And with the whole one-sided relationships, I'm getting that the coping mechanism or what have you isn't feeding you anymore. It's just taking from you. It's not pouring into you, you know? And by you transmuting these emotions instead of suppressing them, you are now free to feel them and allow them to pour out in a creative outlet. Use your daydreams, use your mind, use your, imagination to create things out here in the real, quote unquote, real world instead of just escaping in your mind all day and creating stories and fantasies there. Why not create them and make them touch land in the 3D, in the real world? Something that will fulfill you emotionally, literally, period. I'm also getting something again about, because it says something about part-time bliss. So that tells me that you daydreaming or escaping in these fantasy worlds is a part of that part-time bliss. Like, you get bliss in the moment, but there's no tangible, like, sustainable pleasure. Okay? The AI overview goes on to talk about focusing on self-worth, independence, and refusing to settle. So whoever I'm talking to, you're very ambitious. I know that. Okay? But this is your season of understanding your self-worth, all about self-love and reclaiming your independence and refusing to settle, meaning that the ideal version of you, right? The fantasy world that you think of in your mind when you go to those places, when you see those things, right? Why not, you know, make them real? And then it goes on to talk about setting boundaries and moving on and what have you. Yeah, all that stuff. But I feel like this video is already too freaking long. We almost 30 minutes in deep. Absolutely not. I did not. I want it to be 10 minutes tops, but whatever. This is my creative outlet and I'm going to do what I want to do with it. And you should too. Ooh, that felt good for me to say. But yeah, you're in the season of doing what you want to do. 5:33 on the clock. Okay? This season is all about you and getting to reclaim your power and your independence. So let's have a ball, okay, on this journey together. I'm right with you, sister, brethren, okay? I'm right here with you. We in the club. Um, and become a part of the tribe, okay? It Girl Archives. This channel, I'm taking you on not just my journey of um embodying the woman that I've always was meant to be, but I'm going to be teaching you everything that I learned and that I am learning along the way. Period. Because we in this together, all right? We in this 10 toes. If you've listened this far, we're locked in. We're for lifers. We're practically, practically dating. No, I'm kidding. But we're for lifers. Ain't nothing gonna separate this chain, okay? So again, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel because I want to do so much with you all, and I can't wait to see how many people I touch and spread, you know, these messages to. How many people can resonate with the messages that I am giving you. And, you know, we gonna see each other at the top, and it's only up from here. But anyway, I'm gonna end this right here. I really hope you took something from it. Let me know if it resonated with you in the comments or if it did not. But I definitely did because you're still listening. I love you too, Pookie. And with that being said, I will see you in the next video. Mwah.